in the Iranian community. So whenever I would go out with him, they would say, this is Sia's wife. Because everybody knew Sabet Imani, right? His dad was a news anchor man, worldwide, he was known. So they would say, this is Sia's wife. And so when I'm hanging out with Patrick, they would say, this is Paulette, this is Patrick's sister. I'm like, man, everybody knows my name. You know, I kind of like, you know, I said, you know what? Here's what my hashtag is. Hashtag Paulette like Madonna, right? How many of you know Madonna's last name? Nobody. That's it, Paulette. Me. So anyhow, I'm very honored and excited to be here. I'll tell you, working with the marketing directors, we've never been this aligned before. It's amazing how from top down, all of the marketing directors, senior marketing director, executive, we're all on the same page. Doing this big thing called Saving America, right? Because would you agree that we need to save America right now?
Yes.
Right? Would you agree that our country is so divided?
Yes.
Right? So putting aside our egos or whatever, we have one mission, all of us. Same mission, yes or yes?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. So you know my brother, so you know our story. We come from Iran. We lived in Iran when the war was taking place between Iran and Iraq. So there would be days that all of a sudden the sirens would go off and we had to go to bunkers and hide because we didn't know if the plane was going to drop the bomb on us or people that we knew. So imagine, I'm like 11, 12, Patrick is like 6, 7, and then so we have to go downstairs all the way to the basement. And usually when it's dark, and you know, when you're in the basement, you can find cockroaches and stuff like that. So we were always like so horrified, but they're like, shh, shh. So they would shut off all the lights in the city, and it was so pitch black. We were so scared. So we grew up with that whole fear, right? So at one point, my mom and dad decided we're gonna leave this country. This country, it was great because we had royal families. I mean, the Persian Empire was the biggest empire, right? They talked about the history we have in Iran. So my mom and dad decided we're gonna leave. So through all of that, parents went through a divorce. We went to Germany. We lived in a refugee camp with like half of the people were drunk, you know. There, mom was scared, single mom raising 2 kids. We didn't speak German, right? First day of school in Germany, they said you have to write an essay. I said, oh, I don't speak German. And the German teacher, you know, Germans are tough. Any Germans here? No? Okay, oh, one, right there. So tough, she goes, it's not my problem, it's yours. So I'm like, oh snap, I need to go learn German. Like we learned German in like 2 months, fluent. So then we came to US, why? Because it's a land of all
Opportunity.
right? Land of the
Free.
Exactly. So we came here, we lived in Glendale. My mom said, you gotta go to college, you gotta get good grades, you have to become a CPA. I'm like, okay, my mom knows. Because this family member is a CPA, look how he drives a Mercedes. So you have to become a CPA. So I'm not a good student, you know, freaking like, Patrick was 1.85, I was 1.9. Like we would compete. I'm like, I'm still better than you. Just kidding. So anyways, I worked for Bally Total Fitness. I didn't go to college, I worked for Bally Total Fitness. One day my dad said, hey, how long do you want to work for someone? I said, Dad, all my friends have a job. He says, no, those are the people that work paycheck to paycheck. How long do you want to live paycheck to paycheck? I said, Dad, if I start working for myself, I only have $10 in my bank account. I can't pay myself. He said, go get your real estate license. This is 1999. Got my real estate license. Life was so good because we were making $15,000 a month. And I'm like, man, babe, let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Cancun. Let's go to Puerto Vallarta. Let's go on a cruise. And it was like, we couldn't spend it fast enough. So then what happened in 2007, 2008?
Market tanked.
The crash. And I'm like, and this was like my first crash in real estate. Anyone comes from real estate background? Awesome. So we're anticipating a crash in real estate pretty soon. So hang tight. So then I'm like, oh snap. And so Pat would call me, it's like, hey, how are you doing? I said, I don't know, everybody talks about real estate sucks, but I'm doing really good. You know, our business is growing. And he's like, okay, I'll call you back. I'm like, freaking it, I'm gonna run out of money and I can't fake it anymore. So we were so stressed out, Sia and I, we decided, you know what? We gotta relieve some stress. This is very stressful. So we decided to have kids, right?
After that.
That's right, baby. You know?
These are all distresses.
Takes a lot of practice, that baby. Anyways, so Grace was born in 2008. Sean was born in 2009. And then pretty soon we realized we're so broke. Oh, still, kids are expensive. No. So Patrick came and he said, Paulette, I'm starting this company. I'm like, it's recession. He's like, yeah, I'm starting a company. I go, what are you talking about, starting a company? So realize this, I'm the older sister, right? 6 years older than him. And Patrick was always the person that would say, one day I'm gonna, like we would go to New Mexico because my aunt lives there. Driving there, he'd say, I wonder how to buy a mountain. I want to buy this mountain. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you're so annoying. Do you guys have annoying siblings? Okay, so like, Patrick was my annoying sibling. I'm like, oh my God, I swear. And he'd say crazy things. So that day, he's at our house, he says, I'm starting a new company, and we're gonna name it People Helping People. And I said, oh, that's catchy. And he said, and I said, Pat, but you're making $300,000 right now, right? Why are you, it's like you're making the money. Are you out of your mind leaving that? He goes, what? $300,000 compared to what? $300,000 a year or $300,000 a week? I'm like, oh, here we go, Mr. Mountain. Sure, okay. And so he said, chances are we're not gonna make it. I said, perfect. See how you know? Chances are he's not gonna make it, so we're not gonna go on board, you know? Hey, we have small kids, we don't have time, blah, 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 blah. So shortly after, Patrick, we're like watching Fox News, there's Patrick. And he's being interviewed by Glenn Beck. Some people like him, some people don't like him, the man has influence. And I'm thinking, Sia, my brother, no college degree, he's being interviewed on Fox News. Can you freaking believe this? Here's the thing, what's FOMO? Fear of missing out. That's exactly how we were recruited. We're like, okay, you know what? We gotta jump in. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it's real, or I don't know if I'm gonna win in this business, but you know what? I don't wanna be left behind. So anyways, we got started, and we're part of TGA, 50% team, the best team, right? Yeah, totally love working with Jose and Marlene, because, you know, Patrick and I couldn't work together. So I said, we're gonna work with Jose and Marlene. We're like, okay. So one day, I want to talk to you guys about 5 levels of leadership, right? I don't know if this thing works. There we go. 5 levels of leadership, right? So that's our family. It was only at one point me and Patrick, super annoyed with one another. Now together we have 5 kids, little ones. And then Sia came in my life, the love of my life, and then Jennifer, the perfect match for Patrick. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Woo!
Let me tell you, that's legacy. And you all have families. And what you're doing for your family, are you giving your 100% for your family, or are you just, I love the hobby, I love when they do hobby, or are you taking this as a hobby, or are you going to be a pro? Like remember, like Michael Jordan, like remember, like Kobe Bryant, are you going to be that pro? We're still looking, because there's one or two people in this room that want to become that person. And there's one person or two, a few of you in this room that you're like, you have no idea who I am and what I want to do for my family. And you may be here, right? That's what you're thinking about, right? So we'll see who that's going to be. We're looking for leaders, right? So let's talk about this. Leadership, right? Leadership is not a noun, it's a verb. It's an action, it's a movement, right? Why do we say leadership is a movement? Because when, let's just say, what's your name? Nathan. Are you guys brothers? Cousins, you guys look so much alike. I thought you guys were twins. That's cool. So let's just say Nathan wants to be a leader, right? Wants to build a business. His example is going to affect everybody else. If he's a type that comes in late to the BOM, right? Doesn't come to phone zone, he's affecting my business in the office, because my guys are going to come and say, well, and Nathan doesn't come to phone zone, why should I come to phone zone? Or Nathan comes late to phone zone, why should I come early to phone zone? So leadership is an action, because without even you knowing, you're setting an example, right? Like as marketing directors, we have to be so aligned, because at the end of the day, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna sideline and have big events. We're gonna fill stadiums. That's what we're gonna do. Alignment is a super important thing. So I wanna talk to you about this. And I'm gonna say the whole story from the beginning. So level 1 leadership is when it's all about you. Okay? It's all about me. You know, it's all about, I want to get the recognition. I'm just going to recruit so that my name will be recognized. When we are in BOM, they'll say, who got to recruit? I stand up because I want all the credit. It's all about me. The conversation you hear, it's all about I. And so let me tell you, in the beginning, that was us. We come on board. So the first month we were on board, we were really the star child. Because, you know, everybody loves Patrick. And this is Patrick's sister. So you walk in like, yeah, I'm the queen, right? Like, I'm untouchable. And so the second month we're there, this other guy comes, and his name was Johnny Feldman. So now Johnny Feldman comes from real estate background. Marlene and Jose lock onto him. And so now we're running, I'm like, I told him, I said, are you freaking kidding me? This guy's gonna hit FA before us? We have to run, we came here first. What the heck, he came after us, he's gonna hit FA? So we started running. He was running, we were running. He was running, we were running. So we, both of us hit FA at the same time, right? Since it was still about us, because we didn't have a team we wanted to win, right? So then, what happened, level 2 became me and my team. Me and my team. It's all about me and my team. I don't care about my sidelines. I don't care about anybody else. I want just me and my team. I'm gonna only help my team. I wanna only be around my team. And so that's what became between me and Johnny. So I said, I don't want you guys to help me out since Marlene and Jose are only working with Johnny. I don't want my guys to be coachable with them at all. I'm gonna work with me and my team. And so what happened at that point, guess what happens to your upline?
Disappear.
What happens? Your upline, kind of their phone starts not working. So when you're texting them, they're like, I wonder if they got my text. When you're calling them, they're not answering. Why? Because I'm being unaligned, right? I'm being uncoachable. I'm shielding my team and I'm saying, no one can talk to my team because this is my team, right? So let's go to the next level. And this comes from a lot of pride, you guys, right? When you lead the business, this is a business of people, right? Mm-hmm. The example you're setting is the same thing. I was doing faster and I said, look, we have people that come on board and they say, I'm gonna wait till I'm licensed and then I'm gonna do anything, right? So, right? I'm sure there are a few of them in this room. They're like, I'm not gonna get licensed because I know you wanna get into my market. It's my market, right? Me, my market, right? So they wait. Nobody's in here like that, right? So guess what? You are a seed. When you're new in PHP, you plant that seed. So then what happens? You duplicate the same seed. Then you're like, I'm so irritated with my guys. They just want to wait till they're licensed. And you're like, bro, did you do the same thing? No, but that's different. I changed. Doesn't matter. When you are thinking that way, your team is going to be duplicated the same way. And when you're a type of person that wants to shield, don't talk to my team. We don't talk to anyone else because it's all about us. That's it, right? So what happens? All of a sudden you have a director in your big shop that says, don't talk to my team. And you're like, but that's my big shop. Yeah, but it's my team. Does that make sense? Because you're duplicating that. Next is level 3. Me, my team, and my sidelines. Only my favorite sidelines. Because I'm going to gossip about you because you beat my numbers last month and I don't like it. Like I think that, who's the top recruiting big shop in Arizona this month?
This month?
This month.
Eagles. Yeah,
Eagle. Okay, and then who in Arizona has recruited over 100 in the base?
Timbers.
Woo!
Okay.
12.
All right. Who's gonna be the next one? Who's gonna be the top recruiter this month?
212.
12.
Okay. We shall see.
Operation Grand Slam.
Yep.
Operation Grand Slam. All right, very good. So here's what happens. Level 3 leader says me, my team, and my favorite sideline. Right? That's it. I'm not going to go that extra mile. So I'm a believer and I love to go to church and I read the Bible all the time. At one point in the Romans time and Jesus time, when a Roman soldier would come and say, Javier, carry this for a mile. You had to. Doesn't matter, oh, I'm going to my mom's house. You couldn't even argue. A Roman soldier would tell you, carry this for a mile. You had to do that. So then Jesus comes, while all these people living there hated the Romans, Jesus comes and says, if somebody asks you to carry something for 1 mile, you carry 2 miles. Right? This is law of reciprocity. Because the more you give, the more you're going to receive. If my attitude is gossip, the more gossip I'm going to receive. If my attitude is, being uncoachable, I'm going to receive more uncoachable. And that's what happens. You see anything talking about uplines? It doesn't talk about upline. It's about me, sideline, my team. Then the level 4 leader is the leader that says me, my team, my sidelines, and my upline. That's it. And they only talk about them. Which is better than being number 1. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Right? But let's talk about level 5 leader. Level 5 leader. It says leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality, where you want to leave a legacy, right? And the level 5 leader, I'm going to talk to you about Ricky and Erica Aguilar. Totally, like, Sia and I are, Sia's talking to Ricky like almost every day, right? Those are the type of people I want to be around, right? So they announced million-point base shop points from the beginning of the year, and whoever that hits first, right? Whoever hits million-point base shop first, right? The first in the year receives what?
$100,000 check.
$100,000 check. Can you imagine? Does your job give you $100,000 check?
Hell
Like
no.
if you do something at your job, right? So one of the things that Ricky has that he talks about all the time is being a flag carrier, being a company person, being aligned with PHP. Let me tell you, the day that comes that we're signing and the founders are signing the declaration, Patrick says, SVP, $500,000 earner, Chairman's Council, right? Million point base shop. Most importantly, what else? Aligned with the company. Aligned with the company. I cannot tell you how important that is, right? Because when you build up, your guys are going to just learn to build up, right? So Patrick talks about that, and then pretty soon there was who's going to be the first Hispanic $1 million ring earner, right? Right? It was between who? It was between Vargas and Gaetan. And Patrick is not an instigator, right? I mean, Patrick loves everybody, right? Our CEO is so cool. Like, he loves to hug. Like, who was at was it at the MD meeting at the big event? Or I don't know if it was a President's Club. And he's like, he wanted to give everyone a hug. So anyways, he said, is it going to be the Mexican team that's going to be the ring earner first, or El Salvador, right? So what happened? Operation Interception was born. Operation Interception was born. What does that mean? That means when Ricky and Erica took it so personal that rather talking about themselves all the time, they said, we're going to be the first to hit million point base shop to intercept that $100,000 from the Vargases to make sure that Jose and Marlene are the first $1 million earners, Hispanic $1 million earners in PHP. Let me ask you a question. Would you want to have someone like that on your team?
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
If you want to have someone like that on your team, you got to become that. You got to become the level 5 leader. Does that make sense? You got to become the person that says it's not just about me. But sometimes, we have uplines that are not setting the right example, right? The upline is all about me, it's about me, it's about my business, me. And what happens, we produce that. But if that's the upline you're experiencing, I challenge you. Learn this. You become selfless. You become the example of the type of people you want to recruit in your team. Does that make sense? I remember when we were in the base shop, we were not an MD or anything, and then George Pelayo came and he challenged Marlene. Marlene, we had an executive meeting, and then George came and said to Marlene that Marlene said, we had the most guests tonight at the executive event, right? And George turned around and said, how many MDs do you have? I just didn't like it that he challenged Marlene that way. I told Sia, I said, you know what, babe? We're going to be their first MD, and we're going to hustle like we've never hustled before, because it wasn't about me. It was about my upline. And guess what? When it's about your upline, when you're pushing them up, guess what happens? You're pushed up, right? So, let's skip this. Well, actually, this explains teamwork and alignment. So, I don't know if it's going to play it itself, but watch this. This is pretty cool. This is an awesome example of teamwork. If it doesn't play, don't worry about it. Doesn't play? Okay, even better. Okay. So then, I'm going to leave you with this. John F. Kennedy, JFK said what? He said,
Don't ask what your country
don't
can do.
ask what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
ma'am.
so, don't ask what the team can do for you. Ask what you can do for the team. That's my time. Thank you.